am I doing? Oh, hi. Oh, my gosh. Dog, welcome on. That's just somebody had found, I think, on TikTok. Uh, how am I doing? You can probably tell not so well. I used to use social media as therapy a lot. It's really not good. I do have a major question, though, and can answer it. So, I have to just ask the world and deal with whatever answer I get, because I could Google it, but it's just not gonna. When you want to sometimes when you want to win the lottery, you have to take the lottery approach. If you don't know how to fix the game, or you're not willing to fix the game, I'm not willing to fix the game, so I'm gonna have to take the lottery approach on this one. Welcome on, everyone, guys and girls and everyone. I need your help desperately with one singular question. It is the main thing that is holding me back, or I am using to hold myself back. I am. Because life. And I want to know if there's any of you out there that are open to helping me to solve a problem. Are you willing to answer a question that I have about life and about our country? Because I am in humble recognition that I am 25. And that although I may be very smart, I am not very mature. And I always mix those two together. And now I see that I spent all my time saying how smart I was, but my immaturity got the best of me. Can I help you with how to be positive? I guess I could. It's just gratitude. Gratitude is such a simple concept, but at the same time it's so hard. Life can be like a weight on your chest. That's what it is for me. Life is like a weight on my chest. At the same time, I have a will to survive. But like I said, I'm 25, and I've given a lot of advice over the years, and no one has ever really been interested in hearing what I have to say, unless it was for entertainment value, and I thought I was helping people, but not really. So, now I'm asking for help. I'm asking a question because I need help. How was the very long walk? Oh, it it was good. It was good. I could show you my feet. Oh my gosh, are they torn up? I'm proud of it. But I'm really not proud of it. I think I get in my mind, I get into this negative space, and I start bragging about the negativity. I brag about my endurance, right? Because that's one thing everyone does know about me, is I have endless endurance. That's not all that impressive. It's not all that impressive that I'm super smart and super enduring when I have nothing to show for it. I mean, I survived. Yay! I lived. I don't know. I could clap for myself for the rest of my life for that. I lived. Look at you. You survived, and now you're. Where am I? Right. So I mean, I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. Oh, I'm super grateful. But I'm also like, I woke up. I'm like, wait a second. I keep being proud of myself for being nowhere. I may be 25, but darn it, have I lived a really long time. Okay. And I will give you one word of unsolicited advice. One word. In life, some of us will work twice as hard, 4 times as hard, 6 times as hard to get to the same spot as somebody else who may have been born there. Don't let that make you more proud of getting there, because it actually stunts your growth, and nobody knows that. Nobody knows that. People are proud of working twice as hard to get to the same spot, and then they're more proud of themselves than the person that was born there. And because of their pride, the person that was born there, if they're not all entitled, they end up getting further, and we end up getting held back. So for me, is it good that I got where I'm at? Yes, it is. But I'm not all that proud of myself. Because I may officially be close to where a natural born healthy person would be at my age. And I may have had to over just to get here. But I have a hell of a long road to go, which is why I'm going to ask you my question. If anyone's open to giving me advice, because I'm asking for advice, is what I'm here for. Which I haven't done in a long time, but I need hope. Hi, Suneet. Yeah, I've considered therapy. I have a couple of people in my I'm working through stuff in my life right now. Um, I'm looking into talking to like a professional hypnotist who might be able to help me work through some stuff that I had been through over the past couple of years. So, because I had a conversation and I had a lot of stuff confirmed, but I didn't know people were so bad. Oh my gosh, like I turned on the camera and I just wanted to make friends. I just wanted to do something with my life and be positive and help people. I never thought in a million years, and yes, I know how naive this sounds, that anyone would go out of their way to hurt me as bad as they did. Never in a million years did I think that could ever happen. Because in my mind, in my experiences at that time, which was almost none, I didn't know what bad people were. Because I was surrounded by them growing up. I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was the situation. Um, think of it this way. Like I grew up in what would be considered a very traditional background. And gang mentality, problems, like bad stuff. I would see bad stuff on TV. And, as we all know, the person's skin color may be different. The environment may be different. They're in the city. There's all this stuff going on. But I'll tell you what, the backwoods boys, they can have gang mentality too. I got blindsided by my own, what would you might say, my own people. But they're not my people. I've been doing a lot of research about my own heritage. I'm looking for my people. My question. Let me get to the end of the comments. Maiden, thank you very much. And I will. What's the tea? What's the tea? Oh, I spilt my tea everywhere. I gotta clean it up and pour a new cup, I'll tell you. Just stopping in. Well, thank you for stopping in, Minnie. Keep your head up. I am, and I'm being a lot more responsible with my media now. Being a lot more responsible with social media. Hi, Andy. Don't stay silent. A lot of people even use social media to vent. Yeah, what I found out is that when, at least this has been my experience, I did use social media to vent, and I also made an effort to make it in social media. As hard as it may be to believe, I am not in any fashion a natural manipulator. I did come to find that I don't have NPD, but I did have narcissistic personality like traits. I had traits that I had gotten through nurture growing up, the family I grew up in, and certain other manipulative factors that were so built into my personality that I did not recognize them. And now that I do, I'm working really hard on them and getting better with that, and doing a lot of research on how to get better with it too. But I would talk about my feelings there were a lot of people online that saw what I was capable of, saw my potential, and as I began to get successful, they saw how successful I would get to the point where it would actually affect different fingers that they had in different pies. If you get what I'm saying, they had different irons in the fire, and if a man like me got successful, that it would really affect what they had going on. The account you're looking at now, if you're looking at my account, I've started over many times, but I would affect their lifestyle, their income. I would threaten their way of life, which was corrupt. And so, essentially, I am blacklisted in society and in social media. At present, uh, sure. So I'm letting go of that. That's a big piece right now for me, is just letting go of that. Something my pop did teach me is that I can just turn the other cheek. It's not worth the fight, and also that we live for the next generation. And although I may be a straight white male, I do care very much for everyone, and I value everyone's freedoms. And so although I may not be able to share those heritages, and I don't share that culture, nor do I understand it, what I understand is the need for freedom. Because I don't have it either. You guys may not know me, and you don't worry about me. Nobody cares about me, so don't worry about. It's a fact. Literally, nobody cares about me, so don't worry about it. But I know what it's like to not be free, and everybody deserves freedom. So I absolutely support that facet of it, and you know, I'm dealing with a lot, as you can see, but I am getting through it. I'm getting through it very well. Whatever you're comfortable with. Thanks. Good evening. Finally have a live stream. Well, thanks for being on, Leslie. Yeah, that's not my... I would love to say that there was some way that I could have made it where I'm at some other way. But if you knew the demographics and statistics, a lot of different numbers... numbers, personality, whatever, that goes into where I'm at right now. It's already, it was impossible 5 years ago that I'm where I'm at. So, this is a good place to be. I'll take it, and I'll shut my mouth. You can help people in certain ways, but not... That's right. I know I don't have all the answers. I see that now. I don't. I never meant to be that way. I just didn't want to talk about the things I didn't want to... when I came off like I knew it all, it was just me not wanting to talk about the things that I don't know about. And so people would bring them up, and I'm like, well, this is how I see it, and that's an opinion. And then people would be like, well, no, this is how it is. I'm like, well, that's not how I see it. But then it was my fault for... And now, I didn't see these things before, but I see them now. It was my fault for talking about opinions and facts kind of in the same breath. I would talk about opinions and facts kind of in the same breath and give them the same... I give them the same energy. And I didn't see how that was affecting anyone. I never got that. Because that's how I was treated growing up, was opinion was fact, and it was pushed on me very heavily. And I had lost my personality over that. And then I, on accident, did it to others. I didn't even know I was doing it. And we're talking not even until maybe a month or two ago that I even started to see any of this. And you guys could, you could scream it at me in the face till the end of time, and I'm grateful you did. But I never would have seen it any other way but on my own. That's my personality, is I have a very large level of self-awareness and self-assurance, and it's self-security. It's self-security through intelligence. Like, I'm safe with myself. I'm happy with myself. There's a difference between narcissism and liking oneself. I like myself, but I didn't see how little of myself I was. I was very much a lot of other people that weren't healthy. Like, I had them in my head. So, to a degree, yeah, that was narcissism. But I didn't know it because of that. But it explains so much of the pieces of my life that felt like they were off kilter. it explains so many things about where I was mentally, that no matter how hard I fought to do the right thing, that I always felt crappy. Now I know why. Researching heritage is so important. You can learn a lot from ancestry. Yeah, I'm digging into it. I'm Norwegian, by the way. I didn't even know that. And funny, I'm Norwegian. I didn't know it. And I was listening to like Norwegian music, and I love Norwegian music, and I never even knew why. Norwegian and Celtic music, always loved that. Didn't even know it was my heritage. Love you too. Thank you very much. Have I been to Dollywood? Not yet. Not yet. Good on you. Gabby says, and I will, if you're patient enough with me, I will get around to my original question. But it is really, 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 really nice to have a conversation with other people, because I've been so focused with work, and also just receiving a lot of rejection, facing, like, I've had to power through and just put my head down and swallow my pride with a lot of people who are judging me, and now there are some people being nice to me, but there's some who are, really struggling with the idea that I'm decent, so I'm working through that. But Gabby says, I think it's ridiculous that some people have to work twice as hard. Is that them? Okay. Twice as hard than others, and I've been there. I've learned you need to stay positive, even though it may be hard. However, I think life is. Yeah. Ridiculous that some people have to work twice as hard. On some levels, I do agree with that. Those levels that I agree with that are because we're in America. I came into the workforce and I came into the world with a lot of expectations about our country that I had been promised. And many of them were not only not fulfilled, but they were completely false. And I found that out through practice and, practice and pride, that they're not true at all. We don't have freedom, we have liberty. There's a difference between liberty and freedom. And we don't have all that many freedoms nowadays. Not as much as not as much as you might think, because we may have freedom of speech, but God help you if you use it in a way that doesn't fit the culture. And that's not speaking left or right or getting political about it. I'm saying, for a fact is, I went out there to the world and I said my piece my way, and I was defamed on a massive level. I had my life pretty much completely destroyed. And that's where it started. Like, it was destroyed before the end of 2017. After that, it was just me fighting to stay alive, and I did, and I made it, and that's great. But sitting here now is I'm not all that interested, and that actually gets around to my question, because I'm having a major struggle being interested in getting into the market. Period. Getting into. Do I even want to be an American? Like, part of me wants to relinquish my citizenship and run off to a foreign country, go start a farm. And that's something I've been holding back from you guys, because I didn't want to freak anybody out. But I just don't see it. And it may have just been my experience so far, and me coming on here is me seeking out hope with you guys, because I had a multi-million-dollar mentor who I thought was a mentor. He brainwashed and hypnotized me into destroying my own life. And now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, why would I even try again? If this is what the market has to offer, if this is the people that are out there, why do I want to do this? Because when I got into social media and I got into the internet, my goal was this idea of being a free spirit, being able to make my income online and live my way. And what I'm coming to see is, those who are successful enough to make an income, it's not really that way. It doesn't seem like they really have all that many freedoms. They have to sacrifice most of the ways they want to live or things they want to say to immerse in the culture and make things work in a way someone else does. And so, I've been proud of being an American. But at this point, I feel so hurt by my own people, or at least, as an American, that guys, if you had any idea what I've been through at this point, a lot of you have been through a lot too, I get that. But why do I want this? We live in a country of sales. We do. Our country is a company. Okay, we are a country of sales. We're marketing. It's what we do as a country. It's what we do. You turn on the TV, got a million commercials. Even in the shows, there are commercials built into the shows. It's what we do. Well, I will tell you that the people who tried to sell me on the American dream didn't do that good of a job. I'm not all that interested. I want to be interested. I want to know that there is integrity in what we do, how we do it, and why we do it. But when I look at our country and I see so much corruption, so much negativity, all this fighting and death and just endless complexities of negativity, please, please give me an ounce of your wisdom at your age, because I know a lot of you are a little bit older than me. Please give me a little bit of wisdom as to why I want to be here. Because I have fought so hard for this, and I have fought so hard to be here. And now I feel like I don't want to be. Well, you guys finally got what you wanted. I learned how to shut my mouth and I could do this. But why do I want this if that's how it is? There has to be, I can't have a breach of integrity. It's one thing I won't give up. And it is one thing for the past 6 years everybody has waited for me to give up. And I'm not giving it up. It's not going to happen. But if I can do this with integrity, without being poked and prodded endlessly for the rest of my life, then I will happily do it. But if the cost of producing for you, and the cost of living this life of social servitude, if the cost of that is my peace has no price. But I want to do this. I think I want to do it. As long as I'm serving the greater good, whatever that might look like. So that's my peace. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm going through. And that's the answer that that's an answer that I'm looking for. Is what the hell do I do now? Do I still want to do this, or do I just want to run off to a random country and start a grow it? Because I don't know how bad I want this anymore. Totally different for everyone to answer your question on life, says Gabby. Thank you, Gabby. I know. For anyone that has that, that has your opinion, for the first time, I am asking you for your opinion. I do want your opinion. I want your opinion. Or if you know, then tell me. I'm open to any suggestions on this. I don't care where you're coming from. I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm not going to get triggered or butthurt about it. I want to know where you stand and what you think. Is there a way for me to live this life and do this with integrity without becoming the fool on accident the way that I already have become? Because I've broken that mentality that was put into me, if you catch my drift, some of you. And I before I jump back in, am I making the right decision? That part I have to decide for myself. But are there any of you out there that have made success of yourself and made a good life, doing it with integrity, and you're proud to be an American, and you're also not, you're not fighting? Like, are you happy and secure and at peace? And if you are, how'd you do it? Because it seems like every turn, there's a trap. Every possible turn, there's a trap for negativity and death and misery and fighting. And if you decide to be the good person, then you get framed for something. You are not, it's as if in this country we are not allowed to be innocent. But no joke, I didn't even know what I was doing. And now that I see where things were, it's like, oh, it's too late. Nope, sorry. So you're telling me that after waking up, after 25 years of slumber, and now I'm 100% making every possible good, positive decision I can make, that because I wasn't born with the answers, that I'm not worth it? We're America. Don't tell me that. You've come far. Thank you. I think it's good you're owning up to things and progressing forward and getting better. Thank you. I will say that where I stand is still saying that there's one thing that I actually did that was never permissible or okay. And that was that situation you guys saw. The story hasn't changed. It is how it is. I will tell you, most of you have not been around since 2017. My story has never changed. It ain't never going to change, because that's how it is. I'm letting you know, though, that the way I was so poorly treating people was because they were treating me so poorly. But that's still not an excuse to treat people poorly, just because they were treating me poorly. I could have just blocked them, or I could have ignored them, or I could have changed my posting schedule. I could have done many, many things different. And I didn't. I just put my foot down, I was stubborn, and I said, well, it's my way, I'm going to do it my way. It doesn't work. I overestimated myself. That's narcissism. I had a different form of narcissism than people thought I had. I was narcissistic, but I was narcissistic in thinking that I could withstand 18 hours a day of constant drudgery and attack for no good reason. Well, I didn't. You know, my brains went to scrambled eggs with some help from other bad people. And now, you know, I'm dealing with the consequences. And it is worth it. It absolutely is worth it. I just wish I knew in 2015, 2016 what I know right now. Because there's so many things for my life that I want, and then I'm sitting here wondering, like, did certain other people already know ahead of time? Like, I get paranoid about that. I'm like, did people already know? Because the situation of my life right now is so convenient in the favor of some really bad people. And I don't know if people thought that I was just going to be dumb and play the game, or maybe this is me being dumb and playing the game. I don't know. Maybe the narrative's not finished. But whatever the case, I feel like I'm that anomaly. Like I'm the one that made it, the rat that made it out of the maze, and people are like, holy crap, like this is real time right now. He didn't give in. Like, yeah, no, I don't. I try to tell you that. I don't give in. So what's next? I'm freaking terrified. What's next? You were hurt. We all get hurt and deal with things differently. Yeah, and I was really, really hurt, and now I'm really, really scared, confused, terrified, wondering what the hell's going on. I'm not reactive to my environment. I'm not hurting anyone else or myself. I am depressed. I am wondering what the hell's going on. I am scared of people in my environment a little bit. But I've worked through a whole lot of stuff that I hadn't worked through, and I am getting much better, and rejection is still really, really hard for me. Whereas before, I handled rejection like that. Like that. But now it's difficult. And I will get back to like that. But many of my motivations in life were based around pleasing my family, and I didn't see that. And now that I see that, I'm like, I don't have anybody to please. I don't have anybody that I'm trying to make happy. Except for myself. And I'm like, no joke, I don't care if I'm happy or not. That is my truth. I don't actually care about happiness. Which might not make sense to people, or maybe you think I have a problem. Maybe I do have a problem. But right now in my life, I do not care if I am happy. I care if I live. And what that means to me is I could disappear into the woods and fish for the rest of my life and live in a hut. I wouldn't sweat it. And my only concern would be living in a country where I'm supposed to be paying taxes. So that's where my mentality is right now. What's that? Did me? I think I had one or two. What? No, it was a big pack of them. Might have fell in the back of the fridge somewhere. Oh, okay. I'll find them. Okay. And I'm not even supposed to be live on Instagram right now, but I had to let this out. See, oftentimes I think I have a real question. You guys are starting to see this. It's like I'm like human clickbait, and I don't even mean to. I'm like, oh no, I just wanted to vent. I just wanted to vent because Kate and I were supposed to hang out with a friend today, and we think they stood us up. So we don't know. We don't know, but I think we got stood up, and I think it's my fault, just because of probably internet stuff. And so I had to vent. I had to let it out somehow. And me being able to let it out to you, well, I'm going to tell you what it means. It means that I get to shut this off and then let Kate let it out to me. Because if one of us didn't have some sort of outlet, then we were going to end up taking it out on each other and arguing and stuff. So, and no, we're not dating or anything, by the way. It's just we're friends now. It's my best friend. But I will tell you though is that not involved in anything. Kate is now out of the picture. She never should have been in the picture in social media. I'm going to make that clear. This is a public apology to all of you, anyone watching this. Now we're on the replay. I am sorry for introducing you to Kate. It was the wrong thing to do. Kate wanted it, or she thought she wanted it. I tried to tell her she didn't, but I couldn't tell her what she wanted and didn't want. She found out for herself she didn't want it as bad as she thought she did. And so she stepped off. She's going to live a regular life. I'm living a regular life to a degree, which is really cool. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that God grants us our heart's desires, but God has been granting me my heart's desires in so many ways that I thought I would never get a second chance for. Things in my life that I never got to begin with that I'm now getting, and I'm very grateful for that. I suffered very, very much for Him to get to that point. There were often times that I denied God, but I now, He's back in my life, and I'm working through it. He, she, wherever God is at, God is in my heart. So, it's really good. And I hope things are going okay for you, too. And I know that I don't have near as much time for you anymore. I'm not always in the DMs like I used to be, things like that. It's just, I spent so much time being there for other people, and I wasn't there for myself, and I just got so unhealthy. And so now stepping off this screen and stepping out of the DMs, stepping into my real life and taking care of things, I thought that you guys would be more mad at me. I thought that you would stop watching and that you'd be pissed at me. Instead, more of you are around, and you respect me a lot more because I'm taking care of myself. Which I knew that's how it was, but I didn't want to let go. I wanted to do it my way. But that wasn't really my way. It was my way of avoiding my problems. By talking to you guys about your problems, that was how I avoided my own. And so now I'm taking care of my own. Reflection is the best way to move forward, and you're taking the first steps. Appreciate that. And I know how I probably now seem. I'm kind of like also not here. I'm working through a lot. That dissociation too, I never saw how dissociated I get. I didn't know what dissociation was, so even when I experienced it, I didn't know what was happening. And then, whoever I was talking to would feel disconnected from me, or they'd be like, oh wow, what's his problem, or he's weird, or what's going on. I didn't even know what's happening. Starting to wake up to it. Like even now, I noticed I was starting to get that way. Because I'm not listening to the negativity, I'm not engaging with it, I'm learning how to step back and regain that mental discipline. Alright, so I had been coerced into a suggestible state, into a position of mental suggestibility, which means that someone else could kind of step in and get me to be a certain way, or think a certain way, talk a certain way. I'm getting a lot better. I'm regaining my mental discipline. I'm regaining my own headspace. But something that actually Kate and I had hitchhiked with a trucker, a really nice dude, and what he had said to us was, sometimes God will make our enemies our footstool. I have had many enemies, many enemies in my life be my footstool, and most certainly in the most twisted possible way, having happened to me what had happened to me mentally, was God giving me a footstool, an enemy as my footstool, because that malleability, when I lost it, I also lost the bad stuff from my past. I gained an objective perspective. So I don't see it as a blessing, I don't see it as a positive, but I see it as a learning experience. And that's the only way that I can move forward with a sound mind and a clear heart is saying, okay, I learned from it, and I don't see myself as having the right to move forward from it. I see it as something where, whether it be society, whether it be those that I did hurt in the process, whether those who hurt me in the process, the universe, the world has given me permission to still be alive, to still be a free man, to still have the opportunity to make a difference in this world, and to use my life for good. I don't see it as a privilege. I don't see it as a right. I see it as permission. And I see it as a permission that could be taken from me at any time. Because all it would take would be one person who really, decided for themselves, well, I don't like them. It could just take one person, it's all over. So I'm still here, so I'm super grateful for that. I recognize at the end of the day I'm in control of my own life, and if I survive, it's on me. But living that way, I mean, listen how me even saying that, right? How crazy that is that I'm even saying it. That my life got to that point. I can't even fathom that my life got to that point. So it's really good that things are coming down and getting to a healthier place. You definitely have people that want to see succeed and get through it all. Take care for now. Thank you, and thank you for being here with me. Thank you also, if you're still here, for not only respecting my space, but also understanding why I have space and why I have those personal boundaries. Because whether you guys, if you don't know me yet, I love being able to talk to people. I've always loved being able to be there for people. It's very, very, very hard for me. Very hard for me to not answer a DM. I gotta do what I gotta do. And I gotta keep my space for now. So thank you for respecting me. And thank you for not judging me for it. Because it's something I have to do for my own self-respect. Is take time for me. Who keeps using the microwave? That's Kate. There's Kate using the microwave. Come to Canada. Oh my gosh, I might. I'd love to come to Canada. We might come to Canada. Now that I'm equipped. Now that I can handle myself. Now that I could get into Canada, and I could also handle myself on social media a lot better. Yeah, so do what's right for you. Thank you. But the only answer that matters is your own. And I think I know my answer. It just hurts real bad. So I'll tell you guys ahead of time more than likely I'm not going to be here forever. I mean, I'll probably keep my citizenship, and I'll probably remain a U.S. citizen, and I'll work things out, but there's just so much turmoil here, and it's like, I want to help, but I am so vulnerable myself that it's not safe for me to be here. I'm not strong enough for America. Say it however you want, but I started at a much lower point. I had to fight to this point, and at this point I'm still very emotionally vulnerable. And there's just a lot of people in this country who have no problem attacking me just because I'm vulnerable. I'm an easy target. And they got stuff going on in their life. And so I want to go somewhere where I feel safe. And ironically, I will feel safer in a different country. So we'll see how that goes. It is what it is. I'll go somewhere where there's no one having conversations about a second chance. It's just life. Because another thing, Caitlin and I had spoken with a man who was Indian, and he's a real nice guy, and I mean, we had a conversation like that, talking about second chances, talking about, how people were just taking it out on me for me doing this, me doing that, and he's standing there, and I kid you not, the look on his face was complete disbelief. Complete disbelief. He said, why would this happen at all? Why would they feel this way about you at all? We make mistakes, even very bad ones. We all make them, and if we don't forgive, then we all are going to be hurt. is the way that he said it. And it's true. So, as much as I'd like to help here in America, I have to admit that I'm not strong enough. I have to do it from a distance. I have to do it online. And for some of the things that I want to say to you guys, some of the ways that I want to help you, but more than likely I'm not going to be safe to do them on U.S. soil. Because there's things that I have to say that there's people that would love to hurt me just for saying them. So, I have to be more careful with my own life. And until then, my silence is purchased. And because I value my life and I value my peace. So, I don't plan on exposing anybody or any of that crap. But when I say educate the public, by the time I'm 50, I'm hoping that there's a lot that I can help people with. But based on the projections that I have about our country, we're not going to be at the place that we have to be at for me to be saying the things that I want to say to you. So I have to work that out. I have to work out that plan. And I just don't know what that's going to look like yet because I've never really had a plan in my life. I've never planned before. Gabby says, coming out saying you want to do it is one step closer to your final plan. It's never too late to start over with what you want. Going to another country is eye-opening and sometimes easier than that. And Gabby, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate hearing from you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. We have here, yeah. Girl, it has been a long road. Boy. Looks like for you too. They're saying they've never heard a microwave being used so much in their life. Are you reheating it so we can eat and it keeps going cold?
No, I have to cook the, what are they called, the noodles.
Okay.
And it just takes, these noodles take a lot longer.
Okay. Thought you were single. I am single. I am single. Oh my gosh. Have I ever been happy? Yeah. I don't think I've ever had joy. So happiness being fleeting, right? Happiness, have you ever seen someone frowning driving a Ferrari? I mean, maybe you have, but happiness is something you can buy. And happiness is something you can get from other people or from situations. But joy, that internal state of joy, I've never had joy. I've never had joy in my entire life. Not real joy. I have peace. Peace and joy don't always go together. So I have peace, but I don't have joy. Sometimes I have happiness, even now. Yeah, I'm happy sometimes. But I don't have that. When I say happiness, I mean that interior joy. I don't have a state of joy. And that's the part that I feel was missing. Because happiness, I could spend the rest of my life purchasing happiness. But I want joy in my heart. I want to, in my heart, I want a marriage between joy and peace. That they're dancing in my heart, and that's my state of being. Happiness is important. Yeah, for sure. Maiden says, living in the woods sounds great. I've always wanted to live in the woods. Nature is so beautiful and peaceful and helps with stress. It does. We're not made to deal with so many people at once, you know? At least I don't think so. That's what I'm told. That's what I've read in books. That we're not made to deal with so many people at once. But I'll tell you, there's so many times when I just think about putting this thing down and just like making a hole in the grass and sleeping there. And just chilling. Just being done. Done with it all. But then there's you. You know? What am I going to do without you? All of you. Kate looked at me. I'm talking to all of you. You know, communication is the human experience. What's the greatest form of entertainment? Recognizing we're not alone. That's the greatest way to live, is in community. And community is something I've never had. And it's really weird as I start to be myself, I do actually see how the internet is reacting to me, and it is kind of trippy. It's trippy because the internet is reacting to me right now the same way that people reacted to me in high school. About me all the time, gossiped about me all the time. And I mean, I was like a major topic of conversation to everybody. I didn't know it till I was in my 20s. I had no idea. When I was in high school, I thought I didn't exist. I thought no one even knew I existed. I find out years later, I was talked about on the daily. I didn't even know it. I was apparently just the wrong kind of popular, kind of like now. I didn't even know, I was just the weird kid. And now here I am, the weird kid on the internet. So, because I was Googling, and I showed Kate this on Twitter, is there are people talking about me. Good and bad. They're not even using my last name. They're talking about me like I'm a household name, without even using my last name. Just talking about me, gossiping about me. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, what's going on? I got, it's very, it's a very perplexing situation, because right now, after deleting all my stuff time and time and time again, there are so many people that know my name, and there's so many people out there that have watched my content and are technically my followers, but now it's more popular to not follow me and talk about me than follow me. And so, and that's starting to shift now that I'm actually taking it seriously. But it is a very weird thing to watch. It's very weird. But if you go on Twitter, you can't even look me up. But because some people will tag me and some people won't. But it is the weirdest thing. So, like I said, for me, I guess I have my answer. So thank you for helping me to get that answer. Is more than likely we're gonna. If it's a we, I don't know. Like I said, when I say we, I mean me and my best friend here. But because being alone is stupid. But at least for me, it is. I'm gonna live somewhere else. Majority of my time, more than likely. You up for that?
Huh? Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I have been saying it for a very long time. The difference is, though, I was letting a lot of people into my life that shouldn't have been there. I'm not doing that anymore. I have boundaries now. And I'm working through my trauma. And I'm making healthy decisions. And I have a social environment and a work environment. And everything is falling into place, officially. For the first time in my life. And I completely get it that for a lot of you it's going to be something that you need to see. That no matter how many times I say it, it's not going to make a difference. You're going to have to see it as it happens. Because I'm also not sharing a lot of it with you now, because it's my real life. Okay. Uh, so, Kate, I want to answer a question. I want to answer a question about you and I. Can I answer it?
Sure.
You're only getting this because we're live. Otherwise, I wouldn't be answering it. Uh, okay. Maria asked, why did you two break up? For personal space. Not Kate nor I have ever been ourselves our entire life. Either one of us, either individually or together. And ironically, if we're ever going to be together and healthy, it starts with being together separate, or it starts with being healthy separately. So, Kate has her freedom, she has her life that she's living now separately from mine, which is super freaking cool, because we're learning to trust one another in a way that I never thought was possible after everything that had gone on and that we'd been through and also did to each other. We're learning to trust one another, which is super cool. And and I mean actual trust. And on top of that, then, is we're both discovering ourselves. And now, like I said, her life is her life, separate from mine. It's not my business. AKA, right? Not my business, so I can't share it with you. Legally, can't share it with you. So, but I'll share with you mine, what I want to. So, yeah. There's your answers. We both have to know who we are. Kate has to know who she is. I have to know who I am. And I don't know who I am near as much as I thought I did, but I do know myself a lot more than other people had told me. So it's really good. But people that lay in bed all day have bed sores. I have a job. Oh, God, I'm not going to battle with people like this the rest of my life. So I'm going to step away now because you've got enough of my time. I'm more than happy to give it to you. And I love you all very much. Thank you for respecting my face. My face. Thank you for respecting my face. Thank you for respecting my feelings. Thank you for respecting my space. And thank you for continuing to follow me through my life. And hopefully in time we'll gain one another's respect. Because for those of you who we already share respect, it's pretty darn awesome. And it's a good thing. And for those of you who don't, I have a hell of a lot of compassion for you. And whether or not you want to admit it, I do know exactly where you're at. And I have been there. And you're going to come on back with me because I don't leave anybody behind. Haley says, you have to learn to love yourself before you can fully share yourself with another. 100% true. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. And peace for now, my friends. Stay woke.